It's amazing how much a week can change everything in what we look at, think about, and talk about of the upcoming week or so. If you remember, about a week and a half ago, we had a lot of dry conditions, hoping for some rain. Starting right out of about a week and a half ago, we started getting a lot of rain. Unfortunately, those came with some storms that we had some tornadoes, a lot of rain, anywhere from 3 to, I think some parts of the area got 8 to 9 to 10 inches over the last week, week and a half. So that really changes our outlook on what we think about and what we are looking at in the field. So I spent a lot of my days out looking at fields with customers and with seed pros, checking on some of the green snap corn. Even though we were at that V7, V8 stage, we can still get green snap corn. A lot of that time, or a lot of that issue, I believe, is due to some dicamba applications. Unfortunately, we hit that magical window to where the plant might be a little brittle from especially dicamba that was not safened. And the wind hit just right at the right stage, at the right time, after applications of dicamba, and we got some green snapped younger corn than we typically see. So far, I haven't seen a complete disaster in fields, but a lot of fields I've been looking at are in that 2 to maybe 10% snap, just depending on where you're at. I know that seems like a lot, but as you're doing the math, we still have a lot of time to get these crops to grow, and they'll compensate a little bit for some of those gaps that are out there. And even if you lose 10% of our population, a lot of hybrids still have good enough ear flex that they can handle that different population. And with those storms came a cold front, and it seems to be sticking pretty good, which is I really enjoy. Very beneficial, makes it walking fields a lot nicer. But it also brings in some concerns I have for as far as diseases in the next week or two and for the rest of the season. With this cool 75, 80 degree days, we obviously have enough moisture. I'm already starting to think about tar spot, and so far I haven't found any personally in the territory. I haven't heard of anybody in Illinois finding it yet, but I do feel in the next week or even a week to 10 days, we will start finding it, because this is about the perfect weather conditions for it, just due to the temperature and the moisture. It's also decent conditions for crown rot to keep progressing through the plant. So we need to start digging some roots here in the next couple weeks and start checking those crowns to make sure if we start seeing a lot of brown crowns now currently, we really need to make sure we trigger a good fungicide application at VT to help manage it. And that goes for both tar spot and crown rot. One of our best fights for both of those diseases is running a good premium VT application of a fungicide. So from the Bayer pipeline, I would say you'll run in a 12-ounce rate of Delaro Complete at VT, get you a longer control and keeps that plant healthier for longer, so we can help fight through some of these diseases. Now on the soybean side, I think one of the biggest issues we're seeing now in soybeans is just the drowned out spots from all the rain. We are seeing a couple pockets of Phytophthora in a couple areas that have had a lot of rain. There's really not a lot we can do now. Fields are pretty wet. We can't really replant anything, and really replanting now I think is starting to become a wash, and we just kind of need to move on from what we currently have. But looking forward into the future, I wouldn't be surprised if, with the weather conditions the way they are, that we do have some elevated white mold issues here throughout the growing season. Not a lot of our soybeans are in that flowering stage. That's really when white mold moves into the plant. The spores get into the flower buds themselves and attack the plant that way. So really the best way to fight white mold, if you think it's going to be an issue, and as we look throughout the season, is once again applying a solid fungicide, something like Delaro from the Bayer system, to help right at about R1 stage. And then really, if we're still seeing issues after the R1 stage, it might take another application at R3. I know a lot of our recommendations and what we've done in the past have just an R3 application. Unfortunately, if we truly get white mold early, like we very well could this year, that's going to be too late to help manage white mold. You'll already be losing some yield potential due to losing flowers, and you're not going to have as many pods. So there's still a lot of opportunity for great yields this year. Yeah, we have some elevated concerns on the disease side, but I think with the fungicide packages we have now, with some very proactive management, we can get through it really well, and we can have some really great yields this fall. As always, if you ever need anything, don't hesitate to reach out. Be glad to come out and talk you through and walk through your fields and see if we find anything that we need to worry about. Hope everyone has a great week. We'll talk to you later. See you.